Before Napoleon, before the British Empire, there was a ghost rising from the ruins of conquest. No one saw it coming. No prophecy foretold its rise. But from the ashes of broken sultanates and shattered empires, a single name would ignite a storm. Osman. He didn't inherit power. He earned it, blade by blade, city by city. And what began as a small tribal beylik would become one of the longest-lasting empires in human history. This is not just the story of sultans and sieges. It's the story of how a forgotten frontier gave birth to an empire that ruled 3 continents for 600 years. This is the origins of the Ottoman Empire. In the waning years of the 13th century, the world was changing. The once great Seljuk Sultanate of Rum, a powerful Muslim state in Anatolia, was collapsing under the pressure of Mongol invasions and internal strife. Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, was no longer a unified land. Instead, it was a fractured mosaic of small, independent principalities known as beyliks, each ruled by a different Turkic leader carving out a domain of survival and hope. Among these obscure beyliks was one led by a chieftain named Osman Bey, the son of Ertuğrul. He ruled over a small group of Turkish tribes in the region of Söğüt, near the crumbling borders of the Byzantine Empire. There was nothing about Osman's early days that suggested empire, but his vision and his timing were extraordinary. He took advantage of the weakness of the Byzantines, pushing into their territory, conducting raids, and slowly expanding his dominion. His followers, warrior monks called Ghazis, believed they were fighting a holy war against infidels, and Osman became more than a chief. He became a symbol. By the time of his death around 1326, his small beylik had taken its first city, Bursa, a major Byzantine town, and laid the foundation for what would become known as the Ottoman Empire, named after Osman himself. Osman's descendants expanded the realm further. His son Orhan formalized a state structure. His grandson Murad I established the elite military corps known as the Janissaries and pushed deeper into Europe. Bayezid I, nicknamed the Thunderbolt, advanced toward Hungary and declared himself Sultan, placing the Ottomans among the great powers of Islam. Though briefly halted by the devastating invasion of Tamerlane at the Battle of Ankara in 1402, the Ottomans rebounded with resilience. And by the mid-15th century, under the ambitious leadership of Mehmed II, the empire was poised to make its boldest move yet: the conquest of Constantinople. For over 1,000 years, Constantinople had stood as the crown jewel of Christian Byzantium. Its walls had withstood dozens of sieges. Emperors, caliphs, and kings had tried and failed to take the city. But in 1453, a 21-year-old Ottoman sultan named Mehmed II was determined to succeed where others had failed. He amassed a massive army, recruited engineers from across Europe, and built colossal cannons capable of smashing the legendary Theodosian walls. For 53 days, the city resisted, but on May 29, 1453, the final blow fell. The Ottomans stormed the city. The Byzantine Empire, the last remnant of the Roman Empire, was extinguished. Constantinople was reborn as Istanbul, the new capital of the Ottoman Empire. Mehmed II, now known as Mehmed the Conqueror, transformed the city into a thriving, multicultural hub. Churches were converted into mosques. Scholars, artists, and merchants were welcomed from across the world. This was not just a military victory, it was a civilizational shift. The fall of Constantinople marked the end of the Middle Ages for Europe. Trade routes were disrupted. European nations were forced to look westward, sparking the age of exploration. The Ottomans were now not just a Muslim empire, they were the bridge between continents, between civilizations. The Golden Age. The 16th century would become the Golden Age of the Ottoman Empire. Under Selim I, nicknamed Selim the Grim, the empire expanded rapidly into the heart of the Islamic world. In a few short years, Selim defeated the Mamluk Sultanate and took control of Mecca, Medina, and Jerusalem, the holiest cities in Islam. With these victories, the Ottoman sultans became not only emperors, but caliphs, spiritual leaders of the Islamic world. Selim brought sacred relics to Istanbul, elevating its status from imperial capital to religious center. But it was his son, Suleiman, now known to the West as Suleiman the Magnificent, who would take the empire to its absolute peak. Suleiman ruled from 1520 to 1566, a period marked by military glory, legal reform, and cultural brilliance. His armies pushed deep into Hungary, laid siege to Vienna, and dominated the Mediterranean with the help of the legendary Admiral Barbarossa. But Suleiman was more than a warrior. He was a patron of the arts, a poet, and a statesman. He reformed the empire's legal code, earning the title the Lawgiver, and fostered a golden age of Ottoman architecture under Mimar Sinan, who built mosques and palaces that still stand today. Under Suleiman, the Ottoman Empire was the largest, wealthiest, and most powerful empire in the known world, stretching from Algiers to Baghdad, Budapest to Basra. Legacy and decline. But even the greatest empires must fade. After Suleiman's death, the empire entered a long, slow decline. Corruption, succession crises, wars with European powers, and the rise of nationalism all chipped away at the Ottoman dominance. By the 19th century, the empire was famously dubbed the sick man of Europe. Still, the Ottomans endured for centuries, adapting, modernizing, and resisting collapse. It wasn't until the devastation of World War I that the empire finally came undone. Allied powers carved up Ottoman territories, and in 1922, the last Sultan, Mehmed VI, was deposed. In his place rose a new leader, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, a former Ottoman general who led the Turkish War of Independence. He abolished the Sultanate and Caliphate, and in 1923 founded the modern Republic of Turkey. What remains today? Today, the Ottoman Empire is gone, but its influence is everywhere. Its former territories are now more than 40 modern countries. Its mosques, bridges, and bazaars still stand. Its cuisine, language, and traditions have shaped the cultures of the Balkans, the Middle East, and North Africa. In Istanbul, once Constantinople, the legacy is most visible. It is a city where ancient walls meet modern skylines, where call to prayer echoes in the shadow of Byzantine domes. And in Turkey, the debate over Ottoman history is alive and well. Some see the empire as a golden age. Others see it as a warning. But no one denies its impacts. From a small Anatolian tribe to a global empire, the Ottomans ruled for over 600 years. And though the empire is gone, its story continues, in the lands it once governed, in the cultures it touched, and in the city that still connects two worlds. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. See you in the next video.